Live from the EPB Fiber Optic Studio, this is WLND Signal Mountain, Chattanooga.
Health, wellness, lifestyle, nutrition, and so much more. Welcome to Vital Health Radio, presented by CHI Memorial on 98.1 The Lake, a production of Whitfield Media Group, with your hosts, Ed Jones, owner of Nutrition World, and Dr. Christopher Green, board-certified medical doctor.
Good morning and welcome to Vital Health Radio, presented by CHI Memorial 98.1 The Lake. Thank you for taking your time this Sunday morning to join us. We are a radio show that's all about your health, wellness, lifestyle, nutrition, and healthy living. I'm Ed Jones, owner of Nutrition World here in Chattanooga. And joining me again is Dr. Christopher Green, board-certified medical doctor and chief of staff, CHI Memorial, Georgia. And good morning and welcome back, Dr. Green.
Well, thank you, Ed, and to all our listeners. Glad to be back. Sorry I was gone for a couple of weekends. Oh, my goodness, what a needed vacation time that was, and medical meeting, so I got a little smarter at the same time. That never hurts. I want to thank CHI Memorial for their wonderful, wonderful sponsorship of our show, and also their support of the Tennessee and Northwest Georgia area. I'm still so excited about the hospital they will be building within the next 5 years in Northwest Georgia, right in our parking lot at 4700 Battlefield Parkway. It's been so great being a primary care doc here for the last 25 or so years, and I'm so thankful for all of the patients that come to me, and serving them has been a great honor. And Ed, we've had a lot of new patients, some because they listen to our show. So it's just a wonderful thing to be getting that word out. And a lot of people actually come to your store and come down to me. And so it's a nice marriage again of traditional and non-traditional practice. And I also want to thank Benchmark Physical Therapy. Great job with physical therapy throughout this area and the Southeast. And also LHC Group, Louisiana Healthcare. I work with them both through Home Care Solutions Home Health, one of our sponsors as well, and Heartlight Hospice of Dalton. And that, again, is a wonderful ministry. Hospice is something I've greatly enjoyed. And let me put in a little thing from CHI Memorial. I want to remind you again, it's summer. And last week was the first day of summer, I believe. I think it was last Saturday. And I want to remind you that skin cancer, including melanoma, is a startling diagnosis that brings a flood of questions. At CHI Memorial, we understand and are recognized nationally as a melanoma treatment center that offers exceptional care, knowledge, and compassion. Regular skin checks are important because melanoma can be cured if it is discovered and treated early. It typically starts as a growth or lesion that differs from the surrounding skin. Now, not all melanomas develop from moles, and symptoms can vary, so it is very important to discuss changes with your doctor. Simply call 423-495-7778. That's 423-495-7778 today to speak with an expert. And speaking of that and sunshine, Ed, all things told, even though I'm glad to be back with you, it's great to see you again, I would rather be laying by the pool or on the beach. I'm so sorry, but it's so much more fun.
I'm tearing up over here, man. I'm so well, I was gone myself, but I just didn't happen to be gone on a Saturday. And I definitely need some more vacation time. Mine was a little bit quicker. And you know, our bodies are get worn down and they need to be recuperated. I'm not the world's best at taking care of myself on that area. I do so well on exercise and food and some other areas, but not on the one of taking off. So, and it's, it's not a luxury. It's actually mandatory, isn't it?
It really is. And, I found that week every day would get up early, go out, watch the sunrise, have that quiet time that I like so much, as you know, and you have yours as well, that time of meditation for me, prayer and study. Enjoy that. I know I sent you that picture of me grounding my feet, so we have talked about that. But, I really just going barefoot so much in the sand, in the grass, in the water, it was really spiritually healing to me. Just a week of relaxation for my mind, my body, my spirit. We have to do that periodically. Some people need more, some less. But yes, we're going to send you to the beach.
Thank you. Thank you, my friend. And, you mentioned the word grounding, and many people don't know what that is. It's really something that's, to me, very valuable. And where it is there's electromagnetic field of the earth. And in our ancient history, up to literally about 80 years ago, we connected to that most of our waking hours because we walked the earth barefooted or using leather shoes. And we were not on carpet and other synthetic materials. And that disconnect is causing some disturbances. And that's why one reason we feel so much better at the beach. We're walking barefoot and we are reconnecting to this magnetic field that is part of us. We are part of that field. And so that's another reason to go to the beach, but you certainly can connect on your own front yard. You don't have to go anywhere. And you can do this by touching a tree. If you want to know more about grounding, in fact, I have a national podcast called The Holistic Navigator. If you pop on the holisticnavigator.com, I wrote a small ebook. It has 3 tips for health. And one of those 3 tips is grounding. It's a very quick read. And so if you go to theholisticnavigator.com, I have many different subjects, all from the latest one is on GERD, and also a question and answer where I talked about prenatal care and what is the real deal behind detoxing the body. So you can listen to these podcasts in your leisure of your car in your home. They're about 35 minutes long, and all kind of subjects like hair loss and energy and how to work out, how to lose weight. But if you just pop on the website, this free ebook will pop up and you just give us your email and you will be able to read about grounding. So thank you for mentioning that word.
I wonder if we have, our bodies or minds have an innate knowledge of that. So many times in the summer, I'll just have this strange urge as I'm walking along to take my shoes off and walk through the grass. I like the feeling, but it's an odd urge, but it feels so good to do that. So I do. Was going to Clumpy's. Yes, I went and got ice cream at Clumpy's a couple of nights ago. Wonderful place. Love it. Great ice cream. But, just walking through North Shore, saw some grass and had to get out there on it. And it really is calming.
Well, it's not just a weird thought. I think it is a instinctive, almost primal urge that we are disconnected and the body wants to be reconnected. And you've already tasted it with being at the beach, so it wants more of the good stuff. So I haven't grounded in far too long, so that's maybe I'll go touch a tree after we leave here. Maybe go kiss a tree. I don't know. I want to say, give a plug to somebody. Actually, a clinic. You'll have to help me on this. I took someone to a walk-in clinic last night because they were feeling terrible, and her name is Jill, and it was somebody. Isn't that her name?
Lisa.
Oh, Lisa. You're right. Okay, Lisa. And really great lady. And it was the walk-in clinic across from Walgreens on East Brainerd Road and near the Publix. And I was just extremely impressed by their professionalism and how good Jason was, the nurse practitioner, to be reasonable. I think
they do a fantastic job. I'll tell you, Dr. Orm, her husband, had been a practitioner here, a surgeon, and then helped with that clinic. Wonderful people. He's had some health problems lately, and Lisa's Orm is doing a great job running that clinic. And Jason is a fantastic guy with a theology background. Very, very interesting person. And I believe it's called Walk-In Clinic Chattanooga. So they are open now. They are right across from Walgreens and Publix off of East Brainerd Road, as you said, and just a wonderful group of people.
And that was just on the cuff here. No, because I did that last night, I wanted to mention it. And the reason, really, not only do I like talking to her, and she was so impressed by what I told her about you and I discussing health on this show. And she's looked it up. She's going to listen to some of the past shows. And I want to remind people they can go on vitalhealthradio.com and go back and listen. We titled many of the shows based on information like prostate health and women's health and all kind of goodies for the past year and a half. But what made us go to that clinic, one, is you, because I remember a couple of months ago you mentioned that that you were helping them or you were associated with them in some way. We went to another clinic before that last night, and I never cease to be amazed by the rudeness and incompetence in the medical industry. I'm not saying it ugly toward you, you know that, but these people, I would get more politeness out of trying to renew my tag at the city of Chattanooga.
That's horrible.
I mean, they were absolutely ugly. And so after filling out all the paperwork, we just stood up and said, you know what? We're not going to stay here. We're bugging out. And they were like, what? And the person before us did the same thing because of their attitude, the two girls. And so be wary. And as always, be smart about who you choose to do anything, but especially your health. So,
well, you're absolutely right. And I've been in clinics as patients as a patient myself and had some treat me with respect and dignity and some be just flat out rude, ERs as well. So it's good for me to be a patient sometimes and experience that. And I've told my nurse, you check that attitude at the door. You just have to do it no matter what kind of day you're having. Put on that smile, go in. The patient does not need to hear that. And treat them always with respect and dignity and love.
You should teach classes on that because, you are, it's not uncommon to find people of your attitude, but it's not every day, and it is not the norm. And I know when I talked to Lisa last night when I met her at the walk-in clinic, she just raved about exactly what you just said, your bedside manner and your kindness. And
I'll tell you what's beautiful is after doing this for 25 years, the patients come in, and even when I'm trying to hide anything in my life, they ask me about it.
There you go. That says a ton. Well, guess what? It's already time for us to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to be discussing more about your health. I want to talk about prenatal and also rant on Ensure, the drink. We've got that plus more to come. For Dr. Green, I'm Ed Jones, and stay with us.
You're listening to Vital Health Radio, presented by CHI Memorial on 98.1 The Lake. We'll be back after these messages. Welcome back to Vital Health Radio, presented by CHI Memorial on 98.1 The Lake.
Welcome back, and thank you for making us a part of your day. If you're always on the move, don't forget to download the free radio.com app to your smartphone or tablet and keep us tuned in each Sunday morning right here on 98.1 The Lake. We are a radio show that's all about your health, wellness, lifestyle, nutrition, and healthy living. I am Ed Jones, back with my partner, Dr. Christopher Green, and he has been on a nice, relaxing vacation. And tell us about one of the better meals that you had and how you put together those foods.
Oh, it's so hard to talk about that because I want it so much again. So many wonderful meals, and unlike you, I do eat for taste. So to all the listeners, yes, I do. So I don't necessarily go for the ingredients. I do look a little bit towards health, but especially on vacation. And I always tell my patients, your calories and fats are reduced by at least 20% on vacation. Sometimes I'll say 50%. But, you have to enjoy life. And I still remember my dad, who was an exercise fanatic, would eat horrible foods and ice cream and everything fried on vacation. It struck me as odd. And now that I'm a bit older, I realize, no, he had understood that sometimes you just have to enjoy yourself and enjoy life. So when you were first asking me, I thought about a lot of the places, ate at so many wonderful, wonderful places, and we frankly don't even have enough time to talk about all the wonderful places I ate, foods I ate. But the first one that came to mind, and for all the listeners, I know already because we talked off the air, he's going to rag me a little bit about that because my mercury levels are probably elevated now, but ate at a place called Jasmine Porch, which is at the Sanctuary on Kiowa. Wonderful, wonderful place, and got swordfish, grilled swordfish. Wonderful. I think asparagus was a side. Very tasty. It's this diamond-cut swordfish, just huge. Lots of food. Frankly, couldn't finish the whole thing. But I was proud of myself because it wasn't fried and it was fish. And frankly, I thought you would be quite proud of me for choosing fish dishes, which the other favorite dish was mahi-mahi. So I kept getting repeatedly blackened mahi-mahi. Now, it was in a taco, which probably destroys some of the health benefits, but oh my goodness, was it good. So Ed, what are your comments? You're going to tell me my mercury's up now, so talk about swordfish and mahi-mahi.
Well, there is an app that I told you about before called Seafood Watch.
And it's on my phone, and I on purpose did not look.
But before I even get to that, I agree completely with you that when we are on vacation, it is time to let your guard down if you are a good boy and girl in your normal daily and weekly activities. The thing is, I was gone also on a Sunday through Friday, so I was here for the radio show. But here's my breakfast every day in Florida when I was down there. Normally, I always drink my breakfast, and it's not tequila. It's my protein drink mixed with flax seeds and MCT oil and a green powder that makes up my green drink. And that's my breakfast almost exclusively 6 out of 7 days every single week. It makes me feel better. But on vacation, I want to do things that's not healthy because mentally, you can get burned out. I don't care what your commitment level is if you do it over and over and over every single month, every single year. So Here's my breakfast every day when I was in Florida, and it's generally this way no matter where I go. I had access to a really good buffet, breakfast buffet, and I will always eat the berries. They had great raspberries, great blackberries, and great blueberries. I will get half and half cream. I believe in high fat diets if it's from a good source, so I will pour the half and half cream on the blueberries. I will eat those. I will have about 2 eggs for my protein, and here's where I fall off the wagon. Every single day, I love croissants like nobody's business. So I have 2 croissants every day, smothered in more butter. It has to be butter, not margarine. And then I'll have a huge cup of coffee. My stomach is growling from that.
Well, I was at a medical conference. They do feed doctors. So, but I did avoid the French toast and the pancakes and all the bad things. But they did have spinach quiche one day, which was actually quite good. Not the most healthy thing, but there were worse choices that day. Plain scrambled eggs a lot of days with Texas Pete, hot sauce. Lots of fruit, lots of blueberries, not all, low carb fruits, oranges and apples as well. But, for the breakfast, I actually enjoy sometimes the healthier choices and avoiding the French toast because I end up feeling so bloated after French toast and pancakes. But I did have scones one day. There's a place called Beaches and Cream, which is inside the sanctuary. Wonderful ice cream, but they have homemade breakfast every day, and their scones are to die for.
Well, again, I think the biggest downfall I see, at least with me, is if I do eat too many carbohydrates, I'm going to feel poorly most of the rest of the day. And you're right. The pancakes, the French toast, the syrup, all of those things add so many freaking fast-acting carbs.
They're so heavy, too.
And then your blood sugar's kind of catty-wonk, and then all day long you're not feeling well. And then all day long you try to fix it by eating more stuff, which actually makes it worse. So, again, I believe in leaning, as you do, toward a keto lifestyle. On my website, The Holistic Navigator, I did a show on keto, which explains exactly how to start this process. And it works. It's very healthy. If you do it right, it's very healthy. But back to your comment on your great meal that you had. Yes, on vacation you do what you want. But heavy metals to me are one of the worst demons that we come in contact with, and the reason it is because they block receptor sites in the body. What that means is if you had someone stick super glue in the lock of your front door of your house or your car, you try to put your key in, it's not going because there's stuff in the lock. That's what a heavy metal does to many of your receptor sites in the brain and in the body. Well, if that happens, there's short-circuiting that's going to occur, or less functionality of the system. And it doesn't leave. It's not like poison that you get bad food poisoning and then a week later you're fine. Heavy metals stay. So we have cumulative amounts. That's why when you're 50 years old, you start seeing the symptoms of it when you don't at 20. Well, when fish, the pecking order of fish is what creates the heavy metals. The bigger the fish, that means that they've eaten a whole lot of small fish. That's why you want fish that are smaller in size, because they are different on the food chain and they haven't consumed so many other fish that have mercury. So every time they eat a fish with mercury, they get more mercury. Well, guess what? Swordfish are big old fish, and they have one of the worst track records for mercury. 1 week or one meal makes no difference, but it's not something you'd want to do every day. And the app Seafood Watch, if you go anywhere to eat seafood, you kick the app on and it will tell you, if you know the source of the fish, where the restaurants, if they can tell you, like it came from Argentina and it's this fish, it's going to tell you the advice as to whether you should or should not eat that.
It actually crossed my mind that night to take a look at the app, and I thought, nope, I'm not ruining my meal. There are plenty of nights with things like grouper, flounder, other fish, but I was eating for the taste and the enjoyment.
Bingo.
And it was a fantastic, fantastic time.
And you should. Yeah, and you should. Mental cleansing is more important than body cleansing sometimes. I do want to put a plug in for Nutrition World's yoga facility. Most people don't know that we have that. We actually have a wonderful, and we've had it for many years, and it does very well. It's called The Retreat at the Wellness Corner. And we have some amazing yoga teachers. If you go to the Retreat at the Wellness Corner or Google that, you can see the schedule of all of our yoga teachers. We also have salsa classes from a guy named Jesse, who I took salsa lessons from. Amazing person. We have bar class. We have lectures down there.
Are there different levels for the yoga? Different
There are,
styles
yeah.
and levels?
And this gentleman here, I love him, Anthony Crutcher. He is he actually started one of the main yoga places downtown in Chattanooga long ago, Clear Spring. I'm kind of clogged up in my brain today, Clear Spring, and now he's with us over here at the retreat. So anybody interested? And of course, we talk about mindfulness. Yoga is a great way to reconnect to that mindful nature that we should have. And then, we do have another website called the Wellness Corner, Chattanooga.com. And what this is Chattanooga's holistic wellness destination. And we're putting together all of these practitioners. In fact, we have a medical clinic, we have a chiropractor, acupuncture, licensed counseling, personal training, massage therapy, midwifery with a lady who's been doing it longer than anyone in Chattanooga, Debbie Church. She's amazing. Thermography, esthetician, hypnotherapy, yoga, health lectures, and soon to be even more, because we have a new building that will be open in 6 more weeks. So I'm putting a lot of plugs in here.
Awesome.
And my daughter is, I do want to talk a little bit about prenatal at a certain point. She's expecting in about 3 weeks with her first child. And
congratulations.
It was, personally, we had a little bit of a moment 2 days ago, and you will understand this, Dr. Green. She was like, I don't feel the baby moving today very much, and normally it does. So she calls the midwife. The midwife says, drink a lot of sugar and it should make it more active. Well, she did, and it didn't. And so I got my stethoscope out, and I wanted to hear the heartbeat. The baby's at 32, 33 weeks. Couldn't find the heartbeat. So it was concerning, even though I knew it was going to be okay. But he is breech, and he's turned in a funny place, and I don't have the best stethoscope on earth. So it happened that Dr. Resnick, who was a obstetrician who was on this show last week, actually, and gave a really good interview. I called him just because he had just left the store. And I said, man, what's your advice? He said, I really believe you should go down and get a scan ASAP. And, of course, fortunately, everything was great. Everything was just perfect. But that is the shining star of the medical system, in my view. They were so unbelievable to help with attitude and with expertise.
Yeah, you can do a non-stress evaluation of the baby and know if they're okay or not.
Yep, that's right. There's no need to guess at that. That's not something you just take a chance on. So again, I'm all about nutrition and herbs and health and prevention and holistic and not using drugs, but I'm also common sense that there are times and places that it will save your life, and we need to use good prudence and wisdom on that. I will say, and you give me your comment real quick because we only have about 2 more minutes, so that way you won't be able to comment too much. I had a friend, a really good person in my life, who I took to a walk-in clinic. Her blood pressure was extremely high. Took her to one of the major hospitals here in town. The MD came in, could not find anything wrong. She did hurt her back really bad, or woke up with a really terrible pain in her back, like a pinched nerve, and the blood pressure was pretty dang high. Well, after doing lots of scans and doing a complete evaluation, could not find one single thing wrong, and so they're going to inject morphine and give her an antibiotic and give her a muscle relaxant and send her home with codeine and tramadol. And to me, I'm concerned about those things. First off, they're using big guns with no diagnosis. She didn't ask for it, and she didn't want it. She just wanted reassurance that she wasn't dying, and there was actually nothing to treat the blood pressure, which was the overwhelming thing. 30-second little comment on that.
So the only thing they really found that was significantly wrong was the high blood pressure.
That's it, and an achy back.
Yeah, and so the levels that she probably had, you do treat that. You do a nice cardiac evaluation, look for why. It sounds like a lot like a secondary hypertension. So most people, you're treating high blood pressure that is in and of itself, but there are some people that have a secondary hypertension. High blood pressure caused from something else. Could be drugs or alcohol. A lot of times in young people, blocked arteries to the kidneys, undiagnosed heart disease, pheochromocytomas, which produce a lot of adrenaline. There's a whole host of things that can do that and raise your blood pressure, hormonal imbalances. So no, I'd be looking into that and running tests on heart and kidneys and looking for the source of the high blood pressure and treating it.
Bingo. That makes so much good sense. And I will say they were very kind and courteous. But to launch big guns when you don't have a diagnosis, guns that do have significant side effects for people who are sensitive. But of course, I come from a little different planet than most. But, there are also some really good, natural, holistic, common sense things too, but they don't seem to give that advice.
Well, diet and exercise, low sodium, low salt, those are always going to work, but you're not going to fix a really high blood pressure with a low salt diet alone.
No, you don't do that during acute situations, but it was, always, I try to learn from every experience I have.
And as an aside, by the way, Ed, you do not want to drop a blood pressure that's really high too fast. That's also dangerous.
Oh, really?
Gradual change.
Did not know that. Well, thank you. Well, it's time for us to take another break. And when we come back, we are going to be discussing, I want to talk about CBD and prenatal health. We've got that plus more to come. For Dr. Green, I'm Ed Jones, and stay with us.
We're all about healthy living and enjoying life. Vital Health Radio, presented by CHI Memorial on 98.1 The Lake. We'll be back after these messages. Welcome back to Vital Health Radio, presented by CHI Memorial on 98.1 The Lake.
Welcome back, and thank you for making us a part of your day. We are a radio show that's all about your health, wellness, lifestyle, nutrition, and healthy living. I am Ed Jones with Nutrition World, back again with my partner, Dr. Green. And I know you know Dr. Green, my daughter is expecting soon, and she has a master's degree in nutrition. She has a really similar commitment to the philosophy of health and healing and nutrition that I have had my entire life. I did not instill that in her. I only lived my own life and let her pretty much develop as she chose to. And when she was 15 and 16 and under that, she had no interest. But about 18 is when she started studying a little bit, and then it just blossomed. But she is now, because she's carrying her first child, she has done so much information and study on prenatal advice. And what we're finding out, which I already knew, is that most advice that anyone is getting is from the dark ages. We are still talking about folic acid as the choice. That is incredibly foolish, because if you have a gene called MTHFR and you give folic acid, it's going to be potentially negative for the mother and the child. We should be giving folate. So what we did is, of course, we went out and we purchased some of the over-the-counter, mainly recommended types of prenatal vitamins. And even though I know these things, it stunned me how poor quality ingredients are still circulating. Like the B12 is old school. Cyanocobalamin is simply not ideal. You want another form called methylcobalamin. The soy that's in these products is heavily sprayed with glyphosate. They're full of red 40 and yellow 5 dyes that already have PubMed research showing it can cause, or not cause, but can be a contributing factor to allergies, hyperactivity, other things. And talc. I mean, prenatals having talc, we all see the commercials from the attorneys that, if you have cancer because of talc and because of exposure, you can win lots of money. We're putting this in prenatals. There's no reason for it is a thing. It doesn't serve any purpose. And then most of the people in the health field is giving poor advice on EPA, DHA. They're telling you that you only need 200 or 300 or 400 milligrams. No, you don't. To be ideal for IQ, eye development, and other areas of health, you need the mother needs 2,000 milligrams of EPA, DHA daily. And you can do that with food, but you're going to have to be eating a lot of really healthy, wild-caught, not farm-raised, or eating sardines that have olive oil in a can. So we are a huge proponent at Nutrition World of never carrying anything unless we have examined it and vetted it as far as the current research. So we don't carry anything with folic acid. We only carry folates, which is food form, not the synthetic form. So if you go to nutritionw.com, on the home page, you can scroll right down and you can see, actually, that's my daughter standing there. Thank you. And on the bottom right, you will see an article on prenatal if you want to read all of this.
You know, it might be interesting to, if you haven't already done it, haven't read all that site, just what you were showing me just now, but to compare and contrast like the ACOG, the American College of OBGYN recommendations to what you're saying, and just, you know, it's a neat discussion. I think it would be anyway, a neat discussion and investigation.
Yes, it would. What I have found in my entire 41-year career is conventional medicine is approximately 12 to 14 years behind. They're old school and they're kind of hard to change, which there's nothing significantly wrong in some industries with that. But when it comes to health, especially prenatal, I don't have much room for flexibility in that.
I can virtually guarantee you traditional medicine is, I mean, I haven't practiced OB since I was in residency, really. I did that for 3 years, but, you know, I can almost guarantee you they'll follow the ACOG guidelines.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it doesn't give much room for the independent thinker. That is for sure, and that's good and bad both, I suppose. But the other next thing I want to talk about, which of course is even getting bigger and bigger, is CBD. CBD from hemp. We see signs everywhere, billboards. I see a new store's open, actually 2 new stores in the past 4 weeks. It is the wild, wild west, people. Let me tell you, I've been in this industry again 41 years. I've never seen anything like the unregulated nature of this ingredient.
Think of all the pictures I send you walking around town, and I say, here's another store, here's another. I'm sending you those left and right.
Bingo. And what does CBD do? It comes out of hemp, and it is not THC, but it has the ability in many cases to address a system of the body called the endocannabinoid. In fact, I was talking to your friend last night at the walk-in clinic out in East Brainerd, which I was very impressed with, across from Walgreens and Publix. And she said, tell me the truth. What's the real deal on CBD? And because she's medically educated, I said, you know, here's the deal. Everyone who went to medical school or nursing school learned about the digestive system, the endocrine system, the neurological system. None of you learned about the equal important system called the endocannabinoid system. It is, again, we're 14 years behind. We knew about it 14 years ago, but it didn't filter down to the level of teaching people. What is the endocannabinoid system? It is 70% of that system is found in the brain. It has to do with how we process, how we direct the body to function. It's actually like an orchestra director. If you had a big orchestra with 500 instruments, you need a director. Well, endocannabinoids are the director. That's why it is being used for anxiety and for pain and for PTSD. And a new study came out this week on brain trauma in children, showing the tremendous potential benefit if you can start a child and an adult, either one, if they have traumatic brain injuries, because CBD receptors are found in the brain a huge amount, it helps to recover from those kind of things. But, okay, saying all that, we are, again, in the wild, wild west. That means you have no clue what you are purchasing. There are people who accuse the nutrition industry of that. It is not true. The FDA does not approve nutrients, but they are really a good watchdog. If there's ever an issue with any risk, danger, or people having trouble, they will move quickly. Let me tell you, because I've seen it over my decades of experience. But CBD is different because it came out of the clear blue. The government was not ready, and it will end up being regulated. But right now, you and I could open a CBD company in your bathroom, and we could process it and put it in little bottles, and no one is checking, and there's no requirement.
I mean, anywhere you walk in nowadays, your gas station, or it might be a package store or your supermarket, they're everywhere. And then the independent stores are opening up left and right. You know, I don't know what to think about it just because there's so many and so many different manufacturers. So when the patients ask me, I say, well, unless you're an expert in that, go up to Nutrition World, find somebody that knows what they're doing, get a quality product. You don't want lead poisoning or something. Well,
the thing is, hemp has an affinity for two things. It loves to grow mold naturally, very unhealthy if you have mold in something. Secondly, and here we go again, it concentrates heavy metals from the soil. And a lot of people growing hemp today are tobacco farmers and also weed heads who love the product. And so we have people who really don't know how to grow this properly. And so the end product can have contaminants. Then thirdly is the THC content has to be regulated or it's not legal. And we've already had people fired from their job because they did the CBD with THC. A company that I really respect, Garden of Life, I love their new CBD because, again, Nutritional World vets every product. We demand lab testing. But what's cool, and I want to show you the box next time, perhaps, Dr. Green, there's a QR code on there. And when you go on the QR code on this box, you type in the lot number, and you're going to have the certificate of analysis. I looked at that certificate yesterday. 5 pages of testing was done on each one of these products. That's what makes this a professional company.
So the company itself did that and paid for it.
They do independent testing. They paid for it. It is expensive, and that's what we have to have. See, every product in Nutritional World, we demand those tests, or we will not carry it.
Well, they'll be a step ahead when the FDA regulates it.
That's
too.
right, a big step ahead. And I started using their product, and dadgummit, it is strong, let me tell you. But it tastes better than the others, Garden of Life. I'm really happy with that. And again, if you're in a job that is being tested, even though they say it's low levels, you better get permission before you do it.
Absolutely, and get that from your medical provider as well.
That's right. And it comes down to, if you have a job that has a zero tolerance, then you do not use any CBD. If you have a job that has more flexibility than you can get from your provider, that, okay, they recommended that I do it for blank, 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 and here's the reason why, and here's the product I use.
Or if you're on any regulated drug, nowadays gabapentin is even a regulated drug. So that happened a while back. So anything that you have to do a potential drug screen for, talk to your medical provider first. Absolutely.
Yep, that's right. And on nutritionw.com, my hemp expert, who's on the front page of the website, Seth, you would not believe how much this man has studied the ins and outs of the hemp industry. And we have a great little video. It's 4 minutes long, talking about not all hemp products are what they seem. So if you want to know more about it, go to nutritionw.com. And I am starting a new company. I think I mentioned to you, I might have, Dr. Green, that it's called the CBDguide.com. And it's the last thing on earth I need to do is add more to my plate. My brain will explode, or my heart, if I keep doing this, but I just can't help it because it's needed. And what it is going to be a kind of Consumer Reports website for CBD. And what we're going to do is we're going to offer the ability for any CBD company to post their certificate of analysis, which is their lab reports, on my website. We will sell no product. It's only informational. And then secondarily, we are going to do independent testing. We tested a brand that we thought was going to come out really good already, and it was very disappointing. So we're going to be the policing agency of the United States as far as information.
I'm having new ideas for that run through my head, which I will mention off the air.
Awesome. And I'm excited, and the website will be launched within 1 week of you hearing this. We've been working on it for months and months. We had to actually build a whole code on this website. This is far more, as everything in business is, far more challenging than it originally you think it is.
It's always that way.
It is, but a part of it is...
but it's worth doing.
It's worth doing, and if it was easy, everyone would already have done it. So I'm excited about that. I want to talk in the fourth segment, Dr. Green, because I've ranted only once, I think, about this. And again, I love the fact that you and I can have these discussions, and you never get mad at me and get your feelings hurt, and I never would at you. But the product Ensure, everybody knows about it. There's not a human living who does not know what Ensure is. When people are sick, they get prescribed Ensure, the drink, and blank, blank, blank. But
Do you lump Glucerna in with that?
Not exactly, but I have a product I want to show you that I'm going to talk about in the fourth segment that compares or competes against Ensure, and it's really freaking cool. So I'm hoping that we can educate people like you, actually, to educate their patients if they're concerned about doing better for their health. because it is, Ensure's pretty inexpensive and it's pretty convenient and it tastes pretty good. But the problem is, I wouldn't give it to my neighbor's dog because of the despicable, unclean ingredients that is found in the product. And I mean, I could fill a page with the reasons why I believe that, and so do a lot of other people. Well, I'm going to have to calm down here, and so it is time for us to take another break. When we come back, we will be having Dr. Green's spiritual moment. We've got that plus more to come. For Dr. Green, I'm Ed Jones with Nutrition World, and stay with us.
You're listening to Vital Health Radio, presented by CHI Memorial on 98.1 The Lake. We'll be back after these messages. Welcome back to Vital Health Radio, presented by CHI Memorial on 98.1 The Lake.
Welcome back, and thank you for making us a part of your day. If you're always on the move, download the free radio.com app to your smartphone or tablet and keep us tuned in each Sunday morning right here on 98.1 The Lake. We are a radio show that's all about your health, wellness, lifestyle, nutrition, and healthy living. I am Ed Jones with Nutrition World here in Chattanooga, and along with my partner, Dr. Christopher Green. And in the fourth segment, we always look forward to Dr. Green's spiritual moment.
I'm curious, did you guys do the spiritual moment while I was gone?
I read poetry.
Did you? That is fantastic. Thank you, Ed. I like that. All right. Now, this spiritual moment is brought to you by Silverdale Baptist Church. If you would like to learn more about Silverdale, just visit their website, which is silverdalebc.com. That's silverdalebc.com, or you can download their free app. Andy Stanley once said that if Jesus feared guilt by association, he would have stayed in heaven. And from Jodi Picoult, from her work Salem Falls, she said, words are like eggs dropped from great heights. You can no more call them back than ignore the mess they leave when they fall. Do you see yourself and your life as messy or tidy? The church as a whole has a lot of well-intended but callous advice for messy people. To people who have lost everything: marriage, children, health, jobs. The church has been known to see their depression and say something insensitive like, real Christians don't deal with depression, or something to that effect. Well, perhaps we in the church forgot that this hurting individual came to church today to find a loving family. Have you ever met a stranger at church who still smells of the smoke and alcohol from the bar the night before, and then you judge them? Maybe you thought that if they just really committed and surrendered to Jesus, then they would quit all that. Well, that same person probably almost turned around and left when they saw the church parking lot. This is not the way Jesus talked to messy people. We have conversations with messy people in an effort to make them tidy. Jesus did not come to make messy people into tidy people. That fact may come as a shock to some, but it's the truth. In Luke chapter 5, verse 27, Jesus saw a tax collector named Levi. Well, Levi was a messy person with a messed up life. He loved money and had some issues with ethical behavior. So did Jesus tell him to clean up his act? Well, not at all. Jesus looked at Levi and said, "Follow me." And that is just what Levi did. My friends, Jesus is not repelled by your messiness, and his goal is not to make you tidy. He is not scared of your messed up life, and he is not afraid that the stench of our messed up lives will cling to him. He only asks that you follow him and accept him. He has thrown open the doors of love to all of us messy people, and he can do that for you right now. And that is your spiritual moment for the day. Ed, any thoughts on that one?
Thank you so much, and we did miss you being here, especially for that. I actually had someone who commented in the store that it is one of their favorite parts of this show is when you are giving that calming and inspiring spiritual moment. So
that
thank
touches
you.
my heart.
Yep. I do want to talk about something that also touches my heart. The fact that I am so connected to the power of food and nutrition. I have seen it turn people around like no medicine can and almost nothing else. And we are in a society that doesn't always respect the power of food. And one of those products that doesn't is Ensure. I'm very outspoken at my older years. I would not have been like that earlier on for fear of whatevers, but I don't really care too much anymore. When you look at Ensure, it uses every ingredient that is not connected to a natural type of health. It has bad sugars, the worst fats that you can possibly put in. It has, of course, it is GMO, which is genetically modified. It has artificial vitamins. It has soy. It has, actually, I don't know if it has one redeeming ingredient. Now, when you look at what you call the macros mean you look at the protein, fats, and carbs. It's fine. It's generally fine. That's not the total picture. You have to have purity, cleanliness, and that means almost more than the macros. Well, there's a company called Kate Farms, and I love Kate Farms. It actually is a product that came out of a family who had a daughter named Kate. And there's a story, if you go to Google and you type in Kate, K-A-T-E, Farms story, it is so inspiring. These people had a daughter who had some issues. She only weighed 16 pounds at age 5, and she could not eat. And so the father understood the power of food and realized there was nothing for her, nothing in the marketplace. So he developed this company called Kate Farms. And like to Richard, I think the father, he said the whole thing seemed backward. Why would we serve the sickest, most vulnerable people the least healthy food? And so he spent the past years developing something that is absolutely the opposite of Ensure. It has every single thing that you would ever want in a drink as far as purity. It has the right numbers. And it also will be paid for by insurance for people who are on tube feeding, if your practitioner prescribes it. We do sell it at Nutrition World. They do not let health food stores sell this product. But because we are so connected to holistic medical interventions, they have given us a free pass. It tastes fantastic. It doesn't have the hydrogenated oils. It doesn't have the maltodextrin. It doesn't have the corn syrup. And once Kate started doing their own formula instead of Ensure, and it even says here, Kate began thriving. Her hair shone, her eyes cleared, her skin bloomed, her sleep and digestion improved, and energy levels returned because there was not another alternative. Well, I just love a story like this because I've met the rep, and thousands of people are using this product across this country with great results.
I might like a little information maybe to put in the rooms.
Yes. You know what? I'll get the rep from Kate's Farm to contact you, if that's okay. And I'll bring you one next week to taste. Actually, the chocolate tastes just identical to Yoo-Hoo chocolate milk.
Well, I remember Yoo-Hoo, and I really liked those as a kid. I can't drink them now. I just looked at the ingredients, and it's a fantastic product. You can tell they're in California, it looks like.
Yes, yeah.
Santa Barbara or something. So, I might forget the name is my problem. I'll be thinking about it next week and think, what the heck was that name? And I won't know. So I need information.
I will do that, and I hope people listening also would ask their practitioner if they are wanting to get prescribed so that insurance can pay. But
they could probably get on your website and look for the name.
Not yet. No? We just recently picked it up like 4 weeks ago. But
call your office. Yeah,
it's Kate, K-A-T-E Farms. And please read about it if you have a loved one or yourself that is having to resort to liquid nutrition.
Well, there are a lot of people that simply are in a hurry. There are plenty of times I make a protein shake at lunch because I just don't have enough time.
Well, I don't know if you noticed, but half of this is gone because it was what I drank
light.
at Starbucks this morning. I did my normal drink, which I always make up, but I didn't quite fill me, so I drank half of this.
Well, you'd probably hate my meal replacement. If I ever have to skip, I do Syntha 6 and a almost fat-free peanut butter and water. So probably not the best thing, but it is better than skipping a meal.
Yes, it is, and you could certainly do far worse than that. The Syntha 6, the only thing I have about it is I'm not real, my body doesn't like artificial sweeteners too much, but other than that, it's a pretty clean product.
It mixes well. The taste is good, but a lot of the proteins out there, the whey proteins, just leave chunks, and Syntha 6 mixes smoothly, so that's a big deal for me.
Yeah. Mixing the consistency of a mix is almost as important as the taste, and that's why I always tell people use the NutriBullet or use something. Do not use a spoon like I did this morning.
But in my gym bag, I can't carry a NutriBullet, so I have a spoon, which is why I use this product.
Yeah. Sometimes we just have to suck it up and do what we have to do. Because health's more important than that little momentary discomfort of swallowing something, at least to me. I am taking a day off of my pills today, Dr. Green.
Really?
I really believe that 2 to 3 times a month I should not take anything because I am taking 72 a day. And on the holisticnavigator.com, I did talk about what I take 3 episodes ago. And again, no one needs to take that many.
Strange. I did that all 7 days of vacation.
Oh, really?
I did.
I don't go more than 1 to 2 because then mentally I'm kind of addicted to those things. My little soldiers, I call them my little soldiers or angels or supporting
frankly,
staff.
I just didn't like having to pack them.
I got
It's
you.
too much trouble.
Well, you know what? That does it for this week's edition of Vital Health Radio, presented by CHI Memorial on 98.1 The Lake. It is a production from the Whitfield Media Group and Avalon Design Studios. Thank you for listening. We'll be back here again next Sunday at 9 a.m. For Dr. Christopher Green, I'm Ed Jones with Nutrition World, Chattanooga. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to another edition of Vital Health Radio, presented by CHI Memorial on 98.1 The Lake with Ed Jones and Dr. Christopher Green. Vital Health Radio, presented by CHI Memorial on 98.1 The Lake, is a production of Whitfield Media Group. Join us next Sunday.